Hello, creatives. Miss Nikki here from Studio CIA. And today I'm going to show you how to make the Zan bag. We're going to start with this center row and work our way out. It's a continuous pattern like a granny square. You can make this a wide purse, a short purse, all different. So step one is to chain an odd number. Does not matter how many. I've chained 37 here. This one is 53 for that size. Your chain is going to be about the height, half the height of your bag. So with 37, I'm going to end up with this kind of square shaped bag. Okay. So it doesn't matter. Just get your chains on there, how big you want to make your bag. You could do a little coin purse. You can make it a cell phone clutch. My daughter made a switch cover. And then into our second chain from our hook. So not the one our loop is coming from, but the next one, we're going to place a single crochet. In the second hole, we're going to do a double, or in the same hole, I'm sorry, in the same hole, we're going to do a double crochet. So you wrap, go in the same space, wrap and move forward. You'll have 3 loops on your hook, wrap and go through both, wrap and go through both. Okay. So our stitch combination is single and double in the same hole. Then we're going to skip one hole and go to the next one and do the same thing. So skip this one and move over here, do a single and a double. And I want you to do that until you have 2 chains left. Skip a hole, single, double, skip a hole, single, double, all the way up. All right. So my pattern is single, double, and then skip this stitch, and I've got 2 little chains left. In this first chain, we're going to put 2 single crochets. So the second one from your hook, you're skipping your stitch still. You're going to do 2 single crochets in there. We're going to take a stitch marker and we're going to put it in the first single crochet that we made, because this is where our increases are going to be for this triangle top of the bag. Now in this last one, the very first chain that we made next to our slip knot, we're going to add 3 single crochets and mark the center of the 3. Okay. Now we're turning and going down the other side of our chain. Now you'll see we have these kind of big holes because we put 2 stitches in each one, and that's okay. It's going to work itself out. So right now we're in this big hole. We're going to go down to this one and do 2 singles. I'll be right across from your previous stitch marker. And on this side of the chain, we want to mark the second single crochet. Okay. So first single crochet, middle single crochet, second single crochet. Now we're starting our pattern again. We're going to go single and then double in the second chain from where we are. So skip your 1, single and double. Skip a hole, single, double, all the way down the other side of your chain. I'm going to try to brighten it up a little, but it really makes the yarn look glow in the dark. And I don't understand lighting enough to understand why pinks and reds, which are my favorites, other than green, just don't show up well. Okay, so when you're done, you should have a piece that looks like this. It's textural on the back, got a little bit of holiness, but not too bad. One end is flat where you started and finished, and then you have your other end that's rounded with your 3 stitch markers. Okay, so we want to cut this first color, just leave enough to sew in the ends. So, 3, 4 inches, so you can use a needle and get those ends sewn in. Finish off. All right, now you grab your next color, and we are going to attach to the side that we started on. So your cut end that you just finished off is on this side. We're going to join back up on this side. And you want to join in your single crochet. So it's kind of low and hard to see, but don't join into this top one. Zoom in right again. You're going to join in right here, this little one that's kind of hung down. You can stick a slip knot on your hook if you want after you push it through. I just kind of leave a long tail, again, enough to sew, and then just wrap and pull it under. Okay, and you can chain to connect it. If I can get my hook through there, and then chain. All right, in this first stitch, we're doing the same thing. Single crochet, double crochet. We're doing that all the way up until we hit our first stitch marker. Single, double, skip a stitch. Single, double, skip a stitch. Right, so we're back at the end again. I've got 1 stitch left before my stitch marker. That's my skip stitch. And into this first marked stitch, we're going to add 2 single crochets. So we're always adding 2 and then 3. The only place we're adding stitches are between the stitch markers. Again, this goes into the first single crochet you made. Now we have these 2 extra spaces from the stitches we added last round, and that's what rounds this part of the bag out and makes the flap. So now that we have 2 stitches, we're skipping that first one and doing a single and a double in the next one. So continuing our pattern, but we only have room for 1. Then we hit our next stitch marker. In the second stitch marker, we're going to put 3 singles, marking the center one. And then I like to put my single double in the very next stitch and then skip 1 to go to there, just so that they're both at the peak, creating a pretty rounded point on my flap. So single double in the next stitch, skip a hole, and then 2 singles in the marked stitch. And then we're going to move our stitch marker to the second chain, or second stitch that we just put in there. All right, now we're working our way right back down the side. Single, double, skip a stitch in between. That wasn't a double. All right, when you get to the end, again, cut and finish off, just leaving enough that you can sew it in. You're going to notice that this starts to create a little V shape, which is what we want. So it almost looks like an arrow as we make it. All right. So again, to add your next color, you're going to flip it around. This is a great stash buster or scrap yarn project because, I mean, you don't need very much. But you can add as many or as few colors as you want and just keep it going. All right, so again, chain one to connect it, single crochet, double crochet, skip a stitch, and do that all the way up until you get to your stitch marker. Okay, so I'm back at my stitch marker for my third row. I'm going to take it out. I'm going to put 2 singles in there and mark the first one. And now before my next stitch marker, I have 4 stitches. I want to add 2 more single doubles in there. So I'm going to skip my first one, single double. And skip my next one, single double. So each time you do another round, you'll have 1 more set of these between your stitch markers. And that's where we grow. All right. And then when you hit your second stitch marker, you're putting 3 single crochets. All right. And then single double in the next hole. Skip a stitch, single and double. And skip a hole and do two singles in the same stitch, that marked one. 1, 2, and we're going to mark the second one. And then in the first stitch, we're going to do a single and double, and then skip a stitch and do that all the way down to the other side like before. All right, so once you have that done, you just keep repeating that process to make your bag. When you're ready to sew it, you're going to take and lay it flat and take that bottom end and you're going to fold it up to the first 2 stitch markers on each side. And that's where you're going to sew up the edges and then this will fold over. This could be a good little chapstick holder right now. You can add a little keyring to it and put it on your purse, but you can keep going and make it as wide as you want. It could be a really cute clutch. It could turn into a fanny pack. It can be anything you want. Show me your color combinations of your Zan bag. Can't wait to see them. Enjoy.